Welcome to the Corval Group training module for ladders and stairway safety. The purpose of this training is to increase a worker's ability to properly use, identify, avoid, and control hazards associated with ladders and stairways. In this module, we will discuss terms and definitions relating to stairways and ladders, facts and figures, statistical data related to their use, OSHA regulations, safe work practices when working on, with, and around stairways and ladders, ladder selection, inspection, use, and care. Stairways and ladders come in numerous shapes and sizes. The most common ladders that we use are step ladders, single or straight ladders, extension ladders, fixed ladders, and sometimes ladders of a special nature designed for specific tasks or hard-to-reach places. When installed, stairways are self-supporting structures that provide steps to allow for access to ascend and descend differing elevations. Stairways can be installed as permanent fixtures or may be temporary for the purpose of construction. Step ladders are self-supporting ladders. They're not adjustable, having a fixed length or height. When used properly, the steps are level, providing a firm level position from which to stand. Standard step ladders are designed to be used by one person at a time. Double-sided ladders can be used by two persons if the total weight capacity is not exceeded. Single ladders are non-self-supporting, meaning that the ladder must rest against a firm, unmovable object from which the ladder can be stabilized. Single ladders are also not adjustable. They are of fixed length or height and to be used by one person at a time. Extension ladders are also non-self-supporting. Extension ladders are typically two or more sections that fit together on a sliding mechanism that serve as guides to allow the ladder to be adjusted to varying heights. Extension ladders, like step and straight ladders, are also designed for use by one worker at a time. Fixed ladders are commonly found secured to structures to which access may be needed on a regular basis. Fixed ladders can also be found on scaffolding structures and installed for use of emergency access or egress. For the purpose of this training module, specialty ladders are considered to be all ladders that you may not typically use, or ladders that are not clearly defined as a step, straight, or extension ladder. For this training, this includes but is not limited to platform ladders, articulating ladders, and trestle ladders. Platform ladders are becoming more common in the workplace. Platform ladders are portable, of a fixed size, and self-supporting. As the name suggests, platform ladders provide a platform at the working level on which the user may stand. This platform provides a standing surface that is more comfortable to the user than a single step. It must be noted that while this tool is called a ladder, it is typically defined by OSHA as a scaffold, and its use normally falls under the OSHA regulation for scaffolds, CFR 1926.451. Should the platform ladder be equipped with wheels, it would meet the OSHA requirements for a mobile scaffold, CFR 1926.451 and CFR 1926.452. Corval Group employees who use platform ladders must complete the training module for scaffolds. Contact your supervisor or safety representative if you are or will be working from platform ladders and have not completed the Corval Group Scaffolds training module. Articulating ladders can be very versatile and often thought of as a one-size-fits-all solution. These ladders are becoming more and more popular for homeowners and, to a lesser extent, workplace usage. Articulating ladders have a number of moving parts that can provide additional point for failure and injury, if not used correctly. Whether at home or at work, always use ladders and other tools in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. Thoroughly inspect the ladder prior to use. Ensure that each joint is locked in place before you climb. OSHA has developed standards, rules or laws related to the use of stairways and ladders. This rulemaking, as with most, was driven by a need to assist the workforce with recognizing the hazards associated with working from elevated surfaces. The primary hazard when working on or from stairways or ladders is a fall from heights. In some cases, fall protection may be required when working from stairways or ladders. On average, how many workers would you say fall from ladders or stairways every year? 43% of fatal falls in the workplace over the last decade have involved a ladder. 20% of all falls in the workplace involve the use of a ladder. In construction, Nearly 81% of workers who are treated in an emergency room for a fall fell from a ladder. Have you ever fallen from a ladder? Have you ever experienced a close call related to ladder work? More than likely, you know someone who fell from a ladder. We must all learn from these staggering statistics and give ladders the respect they deserve. The Bureau of Labor keeps and provides statistics related to injuries in the workplace. In recent published statistics, it was noted that in a single year there were 113 fatalities with over 15,000 injuries that resulted in one or more days of missed work. In addition, there were over 34,000 injuries from ladder falls that required a visit to the emergency room. Ladder selection is crucial to providing safe access. Planning and consideration of ladder selection will help to ensure the task is accomplished safely. Ask yourself, do I need a step ladder or a straight ladder? Will I be working from a fixed ladder? How much weight will be on the ladder? Keep in mind, it is not just your weight, but the weight of your clothing, tools, materials, and so on. What size or length of ladder do I need to perform the task? Ladder inspection. Prior to beginning work on any ladder, the ladder should be thoroughly inspected. Check all ladder components to ensure the ladder is not damaged in any way. Ladders having damage that can be repaired should be tagged and taken out of service until repairs are made by a qualified person. Should you find damage to your ladder, notify your supervisor immediately. Make sure that all hardware is in place and in good working order. All bolts and rivets are tight and secure. The locking mechanisms are in place and functioning properly. That the pulley and rope systems are complete and working properly. And the warning and instruction labels are in place and legible. Verify the ladder is not damaged, free from stress fractures, and has not been modified. It is also important that the ladder is clean so the climber has slip-free rails for a positive hand grip, and slip-free rungs or steps so the climber does not slip and fall. Do not use a damaged ladder. Ladders that are in need of repair and or damaged beyond repair should be tagged and taken out of service or destroyed to prevent use. Notify your supervisor immediately. When planning your task, always consider the total weight that will be applied to ladders. This includes the weight of the worker, all clothing, tools, equipment, and materials. Total weight should be compared to the rating shown on the label. The weight limitations set forth by the manufacturer must never be exceeded. Ladder setup. With all types of ladders, the user must give consideration to several similar conditions. Regardless of the type of ladder being used, the work site must be evaluated to verify conditions can be met to make sure that the work can be performed safely. At a minimum, you should ask yourself and your team members the following. Are there any overhead obstructions? Is there a potential for electrical hazards? Can the ladder be placed on a firm level surface? Is weather a factor? Wind, rain, snow, or ice? Is the area secure to prevent the ladder from being struck by equipment or other personnel? Are warning signs available and in place to warn others of the hazards that exist? Am I working near a closed door that could be opened and knock me off the ladder? If so, the door should be barricaded to keep this from happening. Is the area around my ladder clear of clutter and debris so I do not twist an ankle or fall when accessing? So I do not twist an ankle or fall when accessing the ladder. Are there additional hazards that exist that could cause even greater harm should you fall from the ladder? Corval Group requires that a Task Hazard Analysis, THA, be completed prior to performing your work task in order to assist with identification of hazards associated with the planned work. Corval Group's THA includes a section on walking and working surfaces with specific consideration given to ladders. Not all questions can be asked and answered on a tool such as the THA. However, when used, it will get us thinking about the hazards that could be encountered. The THA section shown is asking if our task will include working at elevations. If the answer is yes, why? Then we are guided to additional thoughts or questions for consideration. These questions include, are there slippery conditions? Have trip hazards been removed? Are you using an extension or step ladder? Maybe both. Do you have a level surface on which to place our ladder? Are you accessing a roof or elevated surface where you will dismount the ladder? If so, this requires that the extension ladder extend 3 feet above the surface to be accessed. If using an extension ladder, has it been secured at top and bottom to prevent tipping or sliding? If using a step ladder, is it fully opened? This is to help us remember that a step ladder must be fully opened and the spreader bars are locked into position. The THA should be the first tool you use every day. Ladder rules to live by include: inspect the ladder prior to use. Keep the area around the top and bottom of the ladder clear. Keep the center mass of your body between the vertical rails. Maintain the ladder free of grease, oil, or other slip hazards. Place the ladder on a stable, level surface. Use ladders for their designated purpose only. Engage locking devices before climbing. Ascend and descend using 3 points of contact. Climb and descend facing the ladder. Secure all tools and materials to avoid dropping them from heights. Secure ladders placed in areas such as doorways to prevent accidental movement. Never move or attempt to extend a ladder while in use. Never use ladders on slippery surfaces unless secured to prevent slipping. Never rely on slip-resistant feet to secure the ladder on slippery surfaces such as ice. Never use a ladder made with conductive materials such as aluminum when there is a potential for the worker or the ladder to contact energized electrical circuits. Never carry anything in your hands when climbing a ladder. Raise and lower materials with a rope. Have them handed to you by a coworker or wear a tool belt. Never connect or modify any ladder. When carrying ladders, carry the ladder with the front slightly higher than the end for better control. When moving longer ladders, use another person to ensure no one is stuck and/or no property damage occurs. Wear sturdy footwear with slip-resistant soles to aid traction and minimize fatigue. Thin-soled footwear places additional pressure on the foot and could cause you to lose your footing. Have you ever done anything like this? Notice the warning label right below the worker's feet. If you saw something like this, what would you do? Would you use your stop work authority? Are you committed to doing everything you can to make sure that you and your coworkers go home safe every day? Have you ever done this? Have you ever seen coworkers do this? If you saw this, what would you do? Would you use your stop work authority? Please listen carefully to the following message. All employees and subcontractors are empowered, authorized, and obligated by the owners, president, and leadership of Corval Group to stop work at any time for any unsafe condition. All employees and subcontractors are expected to stop working until the hazard or risk has been resolved. The stop work authority can be difficult for employees to embrace because of the fear of losing their job. Be assured that no employee will ever be penalized for using stop work authority. Step ladder rules to live by. When working from step ladders, never use the top or cap or the top step of a step ladder as a step. Never straddle or sit on the cap or top of a step ladder. Never use the cross bracing on the rear section of a step ladder for climbing. Always fully open the spreader bars and make sure they're locked open. Never lean a step ladder like you would a straight ladder, or use it in a closed position. Always recognize pinch points that are found on the hinged components. Never leave unsecured tools or materials on the top cap or on any attached shelf. Straight and extension ladder rules to live by. When working from extension or straight ladders, the ladder must be set at an approximate 75-degree angle, or a 4-to-1 ratio. One way to achieve this ratio is to put your toes against the ladder spur plates. Hold the side rails of the ladder at shoulder height and extend your arms. This will be very close to a 75-degree angle. Remember, extension and straight ladders are not self-supporting. Always secure the top and bottom of these ladders to prevent slipping. If you're using your ladder to access a roof or other landing, make certain that the ladder extends 3 feet above the landing surface to allow for stepping sideways onto the landing. If this is not feasible, stop. Contact your supervisor immediately. Other considerations must be given to ensure your safety. Always double-check to be sure that the rung locks are properly engaged. If the ladder is placed on a penetrable surface such as soft soil, always use the spur plate on the shoe, or better yet, stake the ladder down. However, prior to driving a stake into the ground, check with your supervisor to make sure the area is clear of all underground utilities. Be sure to keep your fingers clear of pinch points that can be found on the sliding rails and rung locks. Never climb or stand on the top 3 rungs, and make certain that the rungs are slip-resistant. In the event that you're using a fixed ladder, likely owned and maintained by a customer, the user needs to ensure that all safety measures are in place. Easy access at bottom and top, not damaged, slip-free, rungs not missing. Watch out for head knockers and piping or structures that may impede your footing. If you're climbing 24 feet or more, additional safety measures are required. This may include fall protection, ladder cages, and rest platforms. If you have concerns about the safety of a client's ladder, stop work and call your PM or safety manager. Stairs that are built for use in construction but that will not become part of the structure are temporary. Stairs that will be part of the finished product are considered permanent. Both kinds of stairs must not be used for storage and must be kept clear of debris. Stairs must be maintained free of ice and other slippery conditions. Check stairs and components for protruding materials that could cause injury. Do not use stairs that are constructed with metal pan landings and treads if they have not been filled with either the permanent fill or temporary fill, such as wood. Using these stairs without fill poses a significant trip hazard. All stairs or stairways that are more than 30 inches in height must be protected by a stair rail system that is comprised of a top rail and some form of protection between the top rail and steps. Handrails must be designed to withstand 200 pounds of pressure without fail. Mid-rails, screens, mesh, or similar must be used between the top rail and the steps. When mid-rails are used, they must be halfway between the top rail and the steps. Always pay attention to your surroundings when using stairs. Watch where you place your feet. Use the handrail to prevent a fall. Keep your hands free and out of your pockets to ensure good balance. What hazard is present? If you thought, no rail system, you are correct. This is a serious hazard. Either the handrail needs to be affixed immediately or the bottom and top of the staircase needs to be barricaded with a sign stating not to be used until further notice. Is this hazard caused by the equipment, environment, or behavior? Consider how little time it would take to get down and move the ladder. Ask yourself, would I let a loved one use a ladder like this? The answer is a resounding no. So why then would you allow yourself or a coworker to do something like this? This is another great example of where the Corval Group expects our employees to use stop work authority. In order to have an incident-free day, we must eliminate risky behavior. Ladder usage begins with transporting a ladder. Whether it is carrying the ladder or loading it to take to the work site, always do so in such a way as to prevent injury to you, co-workers, or damage to the ladder itself. Whether in a truck bed, inside a van, or on a ladder rack, always secure the ladder to prevent movement. And if the ladder extends beyond the end of the transport vehicle, use a red flag to warn people of the hazard. In summary, to ensure your safety and the safety of your co-workers, when working from ladders or stairs, always make sure that you're using them properly. Do not use damaged ladders or stairs that are incomplete. Make sure that the ladder or stairs are in proper place to provide the needed access. Always use the right tool for the job. Share this ladder safety information with others outside of work. You may prevent someone from being injured, or worse. Thank you for participating in this Corval Group Ladder and Stairway Training Module. Remember that no training can possibly identify all hazards that we encounter. Always remember how important your role is in identifying hazards. Always take the time to plan your work and analyze the hazards associated with each task. If you have any questions, contact your supervisor or safety representative.